Aloha Airlines Flight 243 is cruising peacefully at 24,000 feet above the Pacific Ocean, just 20 minutes from its destination. The cabin of Flight 243 is filled with passengers, tourists, families, and business travelers, relaxed, chatting, and enjoying the flight. The crew walks down the aisle, offering refreshments. The plane, a Boeing 737-200, is flying smoothly from Hilo to Honolulu, a routine 45-minute flight. The pilots, Captain Robert Schornsteimer and First Officer Mimi Tompkins, sit in the cockpit performing routine checks. Cut to sudden chaos. The plane shudders violently. With a deafening crack, the roof of the plane tears open from just behind the cockpit all the way to the passenger seating, exposing the passengers to open sky. Torn metal flaps wildly in the wind, and debris is sucked out of the gaping hole. Oxygen masks drop and screams fill the air. The decompression is instantaneous, sending everyone into shock. Focus on the flight attendants and passengers. Flight attendant Clarabelle C.B. Lansing, stationed at the front, is tragically swept out through the hole, the force too great to resist. Other flight attendants remain calm amidst the panic, instructing passengers to fasten their seatbelts, while many are clinging to their seats in terror. Cut to the cockpit. Captain Schornsteimer and First Officer Tompkins are stunned but immediately shift into survival mode. Captain Schornsteimer wrestles with the controls, realizing they've lost most of their electrical and hydraulic systems. Communication with the tower is sporadic due to damage to the radio. Amid the roaring wind, they decide to descend quickly to a safer altitude.
We're losing pressure fast. We need to get down.
Turning to Maui. Prepare for an emergency landing.
The 737 glides over the Pacific, the jagged hole in its fuselage still open to the elements. As the plane approaches Maui's Kahului Airport, it is only barely holding together, the risk of structural failure at any moment looming over them.
Kahului Tower, you are cleared for emergency landing.
Tension builds as the crippled aircraft descends toward the runway, the pilot's concentration intense. With remarkable skill, Schornsteimer touches down. The tires screech as the aircraft rolls down the runway, and rescue vehicles rush to meet the plane. Despite the nightmarish conditions, the plane stops safely. As the plane comes to a halt, passengers begin to weep and hold each other in shock. The crew members quickly usher everyone toward the emergency exits. Emergency responders rush to the aircraft. Despite the loss of one crew member and multiple injuries, 94 of the 95 people on board survive. The scene is chaotic, with responders and news crews converging at the airport. News footage plays on screen, reporting on the event. The footage highlights the resilience of the passengers and the extraordinary actions of the pilots and surviving crew members. Fade to a news interview with Captain Schornsteimer and First Officer Tompkins, filmed weeks after the event. They discuss their training, teamwork, and the incredible chain of events that allowed them to land the Roofless plane safely. The final shots show passengers reuniting with their families, grateful to be alive. Aloha Airlines Flight 243 remains one of the most extraordinary examples of aviation survival. The courage of the pilots, crew, and passengers on that fateful day will never be forgotten.